It's time for this month's edition of PlayStation Plus vs Xbox Games with Gold, where we compare both services' offerings and decide on which one is better. October is looking pretty good for both platforms, so let's just get right into this. Starting things off with PlayStation Plus, we've got a really solid lineup of games, possibly the best since the PS4 has been out. The heavy hitter this month is one of the best games of this generation, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. The last entry in the Metal Gear Solid franchise, at least for the foreseeable future, had a lot of controversy surrounding it, but that's been well publicized with Kojima and Konami. So let's focus on the game itself and what a game you have with Metal Gear Solid 5. It takes the traditional Metal Gear stealth action formula, drops it in an open world environment, and that complements the game greatly. Gameplay-wise, this is the peak of the Metal Gear Solid formula. It just plays great. Story-wise, there have been some complaints. It doesn't have the long-winded, hour-long cutscenes that the other games had, but there is a good story here. It's just told in a different way through the cassette tapes and other nuances. Content-wise, this is a game that's also going to keep you busy for a very long time. Just completing the main story is going to take you 35-40 hours if you rush through it, and then you've got all the side ops as well, and that's going to keep you busy for a very long time, north of 100 hours. Metal Gear Solid 5 is a great inclusion with PlayStation Plus. It's got a 93 on Metacritic and well deserved.
Hey fella, what's come on?
If Metal Gear Solid 5 wasn't enough, you've got another great game in the Amnesia Collection, which packs all of the great horror games by Frictional in one package for the PlayStation 4. Amnesia: The Dark Descent, A Machine for Pigs, as well as Amnesia Justine. They all capture the essence of horror and actually will make you a little scared while playing them. They're very atmospheric experiences, and the collection has a 78 on Metacritic.
Recordings have been prepared to chaperone you through the chambers ahead.
Daniel, it's important that you keep going straight and make sure not to stray.
Outside of that, we've also got two lower key games. First, Hue is a puzzle platformer which you alter the world by changing its background color. As obstacles match the background, they disappear, creating new puzzles. It's a very interesting platformer with a 77 on Metacritic.
Existing on this coloured plane, I couldn't speak to you, nor interact with objects in the mono world. So I left. I left the university where I hid away the coloured tools I had created, just in case I could return. I am writing this letter with coloured ink. I pray you have found the ring and can read this. Yours lovingly, Mum.
And finally, PlayStation Plus subscribers will also be receiving Skyforce Anniversary, an old-school shoot-'em-up in the intense style of classic arcade games combined with modern visuals. It's a fairly simplistic game, but it's very nice to look at, it's addicting, and most importantly, a ton of fun. It's got a 77 as well on Metacritic. Moving on to Xbox Games with Gold, first we have Gone Home Console Edition, which is a story-driven adventure that's very light on the gameplay. Many consider Gone Home to be more of a work of art. Regardless, it's a worthwhile experience that'll be right up your alley if you can appreciate great storytelling. Gone Home has an 85 on Metacritic.
Into this house. I'm in a new school. It doesn't feel real, but I'm not gonna let it faze me. I'm so sorry that I can't tell you all this myself. But I hope as you read this journal that you'll understand why I had to do what I did. Don't be worried, okay?
You'll also be getting the Turing Test, a challenging first-person puzzle game set on Jupiter's moon. It's a clever puzzle game with very unique gameplay. It's on the shorter side, but considering it's an inclusion with Games with Gold, that's not too big of a deal. It's got an 80 on Metacritic. And as always, you'll also be receiving 2 Xbox 360 games playable on Xbox One through backwards compatibility. First, we have Rayman 3 HD. It's a solid remastering of what is considered a classic, however, it hasn't aged all too well. It is from 2003, so that makes sense. But with the better visuals, it does make it a more palatable experience. It's got a 69 on Metacritic.
Who turned off the nice music?
And finally, you also have Medal of Honor Airborne, which was released back in 2007, where World War II shooters were done to death, and that was one of the major complaints with Medal of Honor Airborne. The timeline just wasn't anything new. At this point in 2017, it's more of a fresh timeline, and mechanically, Airborne is a very well-made game, and it's got a very good campaign mode as well. It's got a 73 on Metacritic. Both services have their strengths in October, but deciding on which one is better is pretty easy. PlayStation Plus's offerings in October are really great. Metal Gear Solid 5 alone rivals the entire Games with Gold lineup. That isn't hyperbole. But then you throw in the Amnesia Collection, which is great, and 2 pretty good lower-key titles in Hue and Skyforce Anniversary as well. It's a no-brainer. Games with Gold isn't bad, but it's definitely one of the weaker outings it's had thus far. So that wraps up PlayStation Plus versus Games with Gold for October. What do you think? Agree with us? Disagree? Let us know in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.